This is those moments that you're
Yeah.
like, are we live? Maybe we are. We should be live. Hey guys, how are you? Hello, Sylvia. How are you? Amazing, beautiful Sylvia Puentes.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here with you in a little thunderstorm from Puerto Vallarta.
Wow, what an amazing contribution. Yay! So for me, it's a great pleasure to be here with you on Access Brazil page. And guys, we're about to talk about something that we really love and we really appreciate, that is voices, to be your voice in the world. So Sylvia, can I ask you a question about right voice for you?
Yes, please.
So let's start. How did you get to know the right voice for you specialty? How did it come up for you? And in your own words, what is the right voice for you?
So two questions. The first one, how did I come to Right Voice for You, or the specialty? I avoided that class for a very long time. It was like I knew about it, but I didn't need it. I didn't want it, and I didn't quite know what it was. So for the early years of Right Voice for You, a lot of people thought that it had to do with singing. So if anybody's heard me sing, I don't have quite a voice for singing. So it was like, oh, I'm not sure. And yet there also was a little energy about being seen that I also, believe it or not, was not willing to have early on. Even with jewelry, it was like at times, if I wore too much jewelry, I thought, oh no, I can't. People will see me. I'll stand out. And I was resisting standing out, and didn't see myself on stage. And so then one of the facilitators that facilitated a lot of Right Voice for You classes invited me to translate all the way from California to London. And I thought,
Wow.
okay, I had never translated before, and I said yes. And I went to London and I thought, sure, I'll translate, and had a lot of ease with translating. And next thing you know, she calls me on the stage. So when she called me up on the stage, I was like, I'm working. You don't need to call me. And there was this other beautiful lady that, started to translate, and I went up on stage. When I went up on stage for the first time, and the questions she asked me, and it's almost like everything I had put in front of me, like that of what I thought I should look like and be like, disappeared. And there was such a space of vulnerability. And I remember even crying on stage of just this space that had opened up. And at the very end, a lady that I had known for many years came up to me and she said, Sylvia, she goes, I feel like I've just gotten to know you for the very first time. And I thought, yes, because I thought, she's known me for many years. So what is this energy about Right Voice for You that allows people to connect with you, receive you in such a different way? So that was the beginning. That was the beginning for me of going, wait, this is a gift to the world. If all of us could show up more as us, more in the space of vulnerability, and not judge us, like whether you're crying or you're laughing or you stumble in your words. From there, I didn't stop. I became a Right Voice for You facilitator. And I started to have more freedom to make mistakes, to laugh at myself. And there was a level of freedom that showed up and new choices that became available. And so now that's what I see. I see Right Voice as an opening to having more of you, to having more choices available, to enjoying you way more, judging you way less. And that's why I facilitate this class around the world.
And this is truly a gift because it's such a space of being us, and with such ease of receiving like the uniqueness that we are as a being and our true voices being put in the world. Because we talk about being you a lot in Access and we talk about business a lot, but like what contribution would be for our business to find out our voice, what is our truth, and how to let people get to know our true energy. Just like you said, like, oh my God, it's like people seeing us for the first time again and actually getting to know us from a different place.
Yes, and I could say, my first language is Spanish. I grew up in California. My parents are both from Mexico, so Spanish is my first language. And then I learned English. So as I started to facilitate more in Spanish, I made lots of mistakes in Spanish and still do. But the funny thing is that I also make mistakes in English from a pronunciation and, but I actually know that Right Voice gifted me the space to laugh about it. Because if I don't have a charge on it, it makes other people easier to receive what they might judge as not correct English or not correct Spanish. So that has opened up, if you can imagine, the doors in my world to facilitate both in Spanish and in English and not worry about it getting perfect. And that's one of the things that I see people where they limit the growth in their business and many choices that can be available for them because they're worried about getting it perfect. They're worried about getting it right. They're worried about the image that they think they should have, that they think will be what will give them success. And, you know, this part about being you, that if you are working hard at being perfect, you'll never have the space to be you. And Right Voice for You gives you that I don't know, almost like that little like push, but also the tools to have the ease to show up, no matter how you show up.
Yeah, this is truly beautiful. Consciousness has a way to support us and have our back, because I am a singer. I was a singing teacher and I was like, oh, I'm going to Right Voice for You class because I'm going to sing even better and stuff. And then I got there and the first thing that came to me was like, okay, what's happening here? Why aren't you singing and stuff? And then it came to me when I got up on the stage also, that it was like, I have created an image as a singer, as a teacher, and for the first time, I was getting to like almost confront myself, my true self, being me in front of those people. And it was such like a breakthrough moment for me, because it gave me so much more of me and of my unique personality. Like, if you were not a singer, if you don't have to behave like this because you're singing this style and this style, and if you were not a teacher, and if you were even a funny teacher, like if you were being you, who would you be? And it was like mind blowing, and my business just skyrocketed after the class, because it's just a space of enjoying being seen, because like you get to enjoy yourself more, and then people can receive that, and you can receive people's admiration, and people get to hear you in a own your way. It's so magical. I just love it. Yay.
Yay. And, you know, people might see you and they might see me. They're like, oh, well, they're comfortable speaking. They enjoy speaking, you know, and that may be true that we have this ease. But I also have seen how this class contributes to the people that don't speak a lot, that have this level of having more ease in silence. And that's a gift too. Like Right Voice isn't about how loud can I speak and how can I, you know, tell everybody my story. It may be having the ease and knowing when to be silent, when not to speak. So it really is, my question to everybody is like, if you could get anything out of, you know, Right Voice for You, what would it be for you? And then allowing yourself to receive even more, because that's the magic. These classes, you come in with one thing and you might leave with way more than you imagined you were asking for. So there is a magic. And for me, there's a joy in my world. I just recently saw this young gentleman that came to a class a year ago. And this man was quiet in class. And I thought, is anything contributing to him? Like, he was quiet, shy, you would say. And I thought, wow. And the very lax activity we did, he was walking and allowing himself to be seen. And I thought, wow. And he was grateful at the end. He's like, thank you so much. So much changed for me. We had a Zoom about a few days late, no, maybe 3 weeks later. And he said that he, for the first time, was able to say no to people. Like,
Wow.
able to say, no, I can't do that. No, it's not going to work for me. So he had this ease, like, I can say no. Okay, a year later, I just saw him here in Puerto Vallarta, and someone's all, Sylvia, you have to see this video. And he had interviewed Simone Milas's about her book. I think it's Getting Out of Debt Joyfully, or Joy of Business, maybe one of those two books. He did it, not only a video with Simone, but he did it in English, his second language. And he was relaxed and being him. And I thought, okay, that's what I desire for everybody. Like that choice for him. And what's that going to create? But for him to have the ease to be there in video in a second language, I just thought, wow, what would it like and be more of that? And I'm not sure if yeah, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we lost like a little bit, but we could understand you. Like it was a little robotic, but we could hear you, yeah. I guess now you're muted. Yes, you're right. Back. Yes. And this, you said something really amazing about the image that we create. And would you say that this is an opportunity also for people to discover their truth, their true voice, like their personality, their own contribution to the world? Because one thing that I keep realizing about me and about lots of other people that ask me questions that come to classes is that we create like these personas of like, oh, now I'm a facilitator, so I have to talk like this and behave like this. So what, and there's some, I don't even know what I want to ask you, because when I talk to you and when I see you, when you facilitate me, you are such this presence, this melty energy, and it's such an invitation of like, I'm just being, come here and just be with me. And can Right Voice for You contribute for us to be this relaxation of being that would melt the images and the efforts that we do to just get to the stage of truly being? I don't even know what I'm asking you, but I really want to hear you talking about this.
Well, I love that you use the word relaxation, because how many of you think that relaxation is something bad, that if you relax, you're not going to accomplish what you're setting out to accomplish, that you have to work hard for people to like you, they have to work hard for people to hear you, to be seen. You know, and it's interesting, you mentioned both image and persona. Well, image is when you're pretending to be something or someone you're not. Persona is when you're being you, and you can use everything to your advantage. And this is the gift of what we play with in Right Voice for You, is that you can use different energies. If you require to be, you know, a jerk because that's the energy that's required in that moment, then you can bring that. If you require to be this different energy with your voice, then you can be that too. But do you see the gift when you don't have to be one particular way? It allows for you to have way more available. And when you were talking about this space of being and the relaxation, the other thing that we also bring to Right Voice for You classes is a lot of the right access consciousness tools. So for me, it's also bringing the right voice, the access consciousness tools, you know, bringing your barriers down, the 5 levels of intimate way, and have a new sense of what those tools are for you. But you imagine having that intimacy with you, where you can trust you, honor you, be an allowance of you, be grateful for you, like having that kindness, like those energies, when you have that for you, it's easier to have it with other people. And that shows up in the energy you be as you present something, and people can perceive that.
Wow. I guess we lost you a little bit. Hello. Let's get a moment for Sylvia to come back. Hey, she's back.
Sorry about that. The internet.
Thunderstorm. It's contribution. Yeah, you were just talking about the access consciousness tools being
great. Then I'll repeat that, because we have these incredible access consciousness tools, and you get to bring them in right voice for you. And it's as they become alive in a different way. I've had people know about the tool of dropping your barriers, and they experience it in right voice for you. And they're like, oh my gosh, I had never experienced the sensation of what it was for me in my body to truly have my barriers down. We also engage in a different way with the 5 levels of intimacy. Because if you can have that for you, like that vulnerability, the trust, the gratitude, and when you have those elements with you, it's easier to be that out in the world. You have that allowance, that space of like, okay, and not of you and with others. And people can sense that. That's the energy that when you are willing to be whatever energy is required without judging it, then people sense that and they relax when they're around you. They connect to you and then are willing to listen and receive you. And my sense is that we all desire that. We desire to be received and seen and heard. So when you don't have to push that, and when you're not pretending to be something that you're not, but rather maybe playing with being a different energy, then everything becomes easier. But my question to everybody is like, how easy are you willing to have your life be? Are you actually willing to be seen and heard and have your life be filled with ease?
Wow. This is so amazing. And we are having a Red Voice for You class like in a few days, right?
Yes, we are. And I'm grateful, one, because more people are also, we as facilitators can now have people online. And at first, there was a little hesitation on allowing facilitators to facilitate it online. So I've been facilitating Right Voice for You now, wow, maybe over 4 years. And it's one of the many classes that's demanded, but people demand this class. And I have people choosing it live, but also online. And let me just tell you, if you're online, you doesn't mean you don't get to show up or participate in the exercises, because we do. We have, a TV screen set up so people in the audience get to see you. So there's still that sense of being seen. So we ping you so everybody can see you nice and big, and you can be heard and seen. And the invitation is have your camera on, be present, and be, willing to play with the exercises. No one is forced to do anything. But my question is, are you willing to step into being uncomfortable that might create the comfort in you having your voice and being more of you? So,
whoa, this is a meme.
Yeah.
Because this is amazing. Because it's such a thing that this reality tells us that we always have to be behind barriers and blocks and walls, because if we are vulnerable, we're going to be attacked. So we feel in danger the entire time. So this space of like just relaxing and letting us trust our awareness and our light is like, I can receive more. Like I'm more infinite now. I just can receive my infiniteness.
And a lot of people talk about receiving as if like, oh, I don't receive well. And, in Right Voice for You, we talk more about that, and we do exercises around that. And one of the hidden gems, like those treasures of Right Voice for You, is that part of what allows you to show up more is the willingness to receive more, the energies that flow and that come to you, how you get to use that to your advantage and receive it all with no point of view.
And we lost her a little bit
and
again.
then you have to knowing what's for people. So I so look forward. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I was like, we can hear you now. We lost you like for 10 seconds, but we got the end of the sentence that you're excited about it. Yay! And this is a class that we will have Portuguese translation, so you can ask your questions and you can receive the class amazingly. And it's gonna be for Brasilia time in Brazil for noon to 7 p.m. So it's a great time for us in Brazil to hop on and enjoy and just get to choose more of us and more ease with who we be and our voices in the world, in business, and everything that we can create and change.
And one of the new things I'm excited about, actually all the classes I get to facilitate here forward is that there's something new right now that we've allowed ourselves to receive and acknowledge. And Dr. Dane's been talking about the spaces now. So I'm wondering what this class that's going to start in a few days, what that space will now add when we're willing to acknowledge the space that we be in the space between everything we choose. Like I have it now, wow, if I was to choose this class coming up, what will my life, my business, my body, my living be like in 5 or 10 years? You know, so you'll know if now is the time, if now is the space. And so I'm excited. You know, we have this incredible manual, and I also follow the energy. So we'll see what everybody brings to this class. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you for coming on with me to ask me questions about it and inviting more people all around Brazil and really all around the world to join us.
Yeah, it's really a pleasure. And it's such an honor to be here with you, because this is one of my goals that I just have to acknowledge that I'm on a live with you, because I love you and appreciate you so much. And you have a space of being and a space of facilitation that just melts me away and just makes me want to more and more and more, Sylvia. And this is something you don't know. I want to become a right voice facilitator. And I was like, I was just talking to Stella that is translating us. Stella, we love you, yay.
Thank you.
And I was like, I was waiting to take a right voice for you class with Sylvia. And now I get to work with you and create it. How did I get so lucky? So guys, don't come. It's not gonna be any fun. We're not gonna change anything.
No, I'm quite boring and really challenging.
Yeah, we are not
Thank
fun
you.
at all.
No. And
Yeah,
this is the gift, like, you know, go ahead.
No, please, you go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when you allow yourself to play more, it almost doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or says. You know, you get to enjoy you so much more. And this is, you know, maybe, you know, in your job, you're not having so much fun, or in your relationships. It's like when you have more of you and you know that you have choices of speaking and creating something with what you do choose to say or not say, then everything becomes much more fun. There's a word in Spanish that's called traviesa. I don't know about English, but it's like naughty. Like when you're out creating your life, it's seen as naughty because you're out like, oh, I'd like this and I can create this. And so right voice for you can be so many things. What are you asking for? And is now the space to choose it. So yeah, thank you so much again. And thank you all that are watching. And if you don't choose the right voice for you this weekend, I wonder what other class will pull you in to contribute to you in the voice.
We lost you a little bit again.
To have in the world. So we'll all stay. God, there we got you back.
Yeah, I guess I can hear you again.
The
It was
gift
so
of
funny because you were
storm,
like,
but I'm glad we got in.
Yeah, sure. It was amazing because you were like, oh, so if you don't choose this, I wonder what other class can you and then we lost you completely. It's like the universe is like, guys, it's the space for red boys. Sylvia, thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. Guys, we are putting all the links for you to subscribe to the class and get to know the details. It's going to be in an amazing time zone for us in Brazil. We are having translations, we have amazing manuals and amazing Sylvia Plantas. So how did we get so lucky? Thank you, Stella. Thank you, everybody that is here with us. See you in a few days.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Bye. Ciao.